And we're back. I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office, North Georgia's only live online morning show. It's 8:45. Pouring the rain out there in North Georgia. If you're in North Georgia, it's raining here. Sorry about for the first 6 to 7 minutes this morning with our technical difficulty. Let's tell people how to get in touch with us. If you have news, now we'll do this again after 9 o'clock. We're going through trying to show you this morning, and don't take this wrong, trying to show you how you can keep up with all the election information that's out there so you can make the most informed decision before you vote in upcoming May 22nd primary. I'll have to look at the calendar. So if you'd like to put that back up, I use it to just follow along. If you'd like to send us an email, it's chief@fetchernews.com. If you would like to text the show, or if you have a news tip out there or something's going on in the election, you need to communicate with us at 706-889-9700. Or you can follow us on Twitter at FetchYourNews, at FYNTV. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Fetch Your News FYNTV, and you will get a notification every time we have a live broadcast or we upload a video. There you go. Now you can take that down. Okay. That's important. You leave it up while I say that. It's very important. Now, Sam wanted me, we just finished our Sam is drunk story, but Sam, Ella Sam.
Distinguish what Sam you're talking about here.
Sam wanted to make sure that I let the audience know it is not her. She's in the other room. She's only had a couple drinks, and she is on her meds. Okay. So
oh my God!
Could you watch the door to see if it opens and something happens to me? No, I want to make sure. That's a joke. That is a joke, folks. Please, that's a joke. We are talking about Sam Nunberg, right? Is that his name? Nunberg, the drunk that went to 6 interviews yesterday that made the mainstream front page of every paper. The drunk, and I know Hillary never had a drunk in the campaign. Just Bill. Bill's not a drunk. I'd say he likes a mixed drink. Would you guess Bill likes a mixed drink? I would say but anyhow. All right, so the trade wars. This is how it is given. It is presented to the American people. Donald Trump's war on trade. Okay? All right? But it's not playing across they don't like to hear this, the flyover states. That's what the left and right coast call middle America, the flyover states. They don't like to hear that. So the 25% on steel, we're going to talk about this, the 25% on steel tariff, import steel, and 10% on aluminum. So please excuse me, I'm sorry for that. Let's play the Donald Trump, I'm not backing down tariffs, doesn't think trade war will happen, okay? And I'm going to explain to you why he is correct in just a minute. But let's play that video. Do you have that one, Amanda? Let it roll.
No, we're not backing down. Mexico is, we've had a very bad deal with Mexico, a very bad deal with Canada. It's called NAFTA. Our factories have left our country. Our jobs have left our country. For many years, NAFTA has been a disaster. We are renegotiating NAFTA, as I said I would. And if we don't make a deal, I'll terminate NAFTA. But if I do make a deal, which is fair to the workers and to the American people, that would be, I would imagine, one of the points that we'll negotiate. It will be tariffs on steel for Canada and for Mexico. If they aren't going to make a fair NAFTA deal, we're just going to leave it this way. People have to understand our country on trade has been ripped off by virtually every country in the world, whether it's friend or enemy. Everybody. Thank you. I don't think you have a trade war. I don't think so. I don't think you're going to have a trade war now.
We have been ripped off by friend and enemy. I mean, it's like Trump says, and we're calling these people our friends. Folks, NAFTA, okay? NAFTA, the North American Free Trade Agreement, all right? And, you know, we need to thank the Bush family, the Clintons, the World Trade Organization. We need to thank everybody that took advantage of you and I out here in rural America. When NAFTA, North American Free Trade Agreement, okay? Bilateral talks began with Mexico, which Canada joined. The NAFTA followed, entered into force on January 1st, 1994. Tariffs were eliminated. Progressively in all duties and quantitative restrictions, with the exception of those on limited number of agricultural products traded with Canada, were eliminated by 2008. Okay? Donald Trump said, I will eliminate NAFTA. If they don't come to the table, folks, I will eliminate NAFTA. We're not backing down. Mexico, we've had several bad years here. If we can't make a deal, I will terminate NAFTA. We have been ripped off by our friends and our enemies for years. So President Trump is not backing down. The globalist nerves are shot. Their nerves are shot because NAFTA is a big moneymaker, not for the factory worker in Middle America, not for steel workers, not for those that work in the aluminum plants, not in the trucking industry, manufacturing, but to the World Trade Organization and Canada and Mexico that have been taking advantage of us and just running trucks up and down to no cost, no tariffs, and took our factories. You know, I was so frustrated the other day to hear the elites talking about, but it's $175 a car, and if you times that by X, that's how many. I wonder how many of the elites took the time to count how many Ford trucks come in through Canada, how many Ford and Chevys come in through Mexico that are not manufactured here at all. How many automobiles with steel and aluminum come into this country with no tariffs that are not manufactured here at all? The EU, I think Germany has like a 10% tariff tax on our cars. You will not find our American-made cars, all right? You will not find our American-made cars in anywhere else in the world as freely as you will see the BMWs and the Mercedes and the Jaguar and all of the imports into this country. Nowhere else in the world will you see as many American cars just freely with no tariffs whatsoever like you see imports into this country. Now, this is my guess. I'm not. Let's just say, why? Okay, why do auto manufacturers like Toyota, Nissan, Kia, why are they investing in this country and why have they been for years? Okay? Because without tariffs, all of their parts, all of their steel, all of their aluminum have been dumped in this country at no extra cost. All right? I would doubt the transmissions that come in off the ship for the foreign cars have an additional cost. They're using dumped cheap steel. They're going into states that are giving away, totally giving away the tax base to get them there. They do not have unions to deal with. And they're paying a modest fair wage. I call it fair. I know sometimes somebody doesn't like to hear that. Donald Trump is not starting a trade war. He is standing up. And what upsets them the most, he is keeping campaign promises. Now let me go over one thing before I go into the next story, because I don't want to get sidetracked. The Atlanta Business Chronicle, okay? Atlanta Business Chronicle, April 8th, 2002. April 8th, 2002. Let's see, NAFTA was 1994. Levi Strauss, you got a picture of the old Levi Strauss there? Levi Strauss and Company will shut its manufacturing plant in Blue Ridge, Georgia. You see, didn't I send you a picture of Levi's? I mean, are you awake over there or what? All right. Is that the picture I sent you? Oh, I see. I get it.
Levi's?
Yeah, I got it. I catch on. So Levi Strauss closing Blue Ridge plant. This is April 8th, 2002. Levi Strauss and Company will shut its manufacturing plant in Blue Ridge. You know, this past Sunday, and the reason I bring this up is I'm only about 15 miles from the Levi's plant, okay, in Blue Ridge, and I happen to live here when it closed. And Sunday, I was listening to, I think, the likes of Chris Wallace saying, well, they said they were going to put a tariff, the EU, on Levi's, particularly Levi's jeans, bourbon, and I think our automobiles or something else. I forget the third one, okay? That was all too important that the EU was going to retaliate. And I was thinking, really, will anybody in North Georgia be concerned to hear there's going to be a tariff on Levi's jeans that will end up probably coming from Mexico? Levi's Strauss and Company will shut its manufacturing plant in Blue Ridge by the end of June 2002 as part of its previously announced shift away from manufacturing and towards marketing. The company will close 5 other plants by the end of the year. Here is their statement. This is a painful but necessary business decision, said CEO Philip Marat. Forget his last name. There is no question that we must move away from owned and operated plants in the U.S. to remain competitive in our industry. There is no question that we must move away from owned and operated plants in the U.S. to remain competitive in our industry. 2002. NAFTA, folks. You see, it's not hard to go anywhere and find a pair of Levi's, 501 blues, right? You can find them all day long. They're coming right into this country from Mexico, for the most part, I'd say. Coming right in here from Mexico, going on the shelf. No tariffs, no extra cost, just your jobs. You see, your 3,300 jobs here in Fannin County that went to Mexico. Trump will win here. Do not get nervous. This is not a trade war. Trump will win. He did not just get mad the other night and decide to slap a 25% on steel or aluminum. There's a couple things, and I'm gonna close with this on this story here. There's a couple things on the trade. One, seriously, all jokes aside, politicians are not prepared to handle and do not know how to handle a campaign promise actually being kept. As silly as it sounds, they are up there in Washington, D.C., walking around in circles saying, what is this guy doing? Well, he's keeping a campaign promise. Really? So that's what that looks like? Yeah, he's really going down the list. Remember, I said this at the beginning of the Trump administration, all right? And for those of you that have watched the show for quite some time, all right, I told you that Donald Trump has, okay, a legal pad. That's my opinion. This is my opinion. And throughout the campaign, this is just my thought, is every time he got on Trump Force One, or as he was riding in the SUV to go to another campaign rally, he had somebody write down what he promised at that last rally. This is my opinion. I believe it to be true. And I believe when he was elected President of the United States, he took that legal pad and he said, this is what I promised the American people. This is what I can envision. I really think this is the way the guy operates. And I think every single day he pulls that out and he looks at the promises he made the people in Wisconsin, the voters. He made the voters in Michigan. He made the voters in Texas. I think he looks at all of those promises that he made. And they cannot take that he's keeping campaign promises. They can't take it. That is number one. All right? He will win this trade battle. And I'm going to prove to you he's going to win this trade battle. You will see. Canada will come to the table. Okay? Mexico will come to the table. The EU will come to the table. Do not worry about the knee-buckling, okay, leftist journalist, okay, the milquetoast, extra white, whether they, no matter how they act, they will be okay. They'll still be able to afford their BMWs. They'll still be able to afford their foreign cars. And Donald Trump will win the trade discussion, 25% on steel. I am so tired of hearing, I'm going to close with that today. I'm going to tell you why I'm so tired of hearing $175 on the steel. When we come back, we're going to talk about why I think Trump will win when it comes to trade. Amanda, take us a break.